Let's block out that ad. I really need ad blocker on this thing. Hello. Today I'm doing a tier list of my favorite album ever made. I think it's definitely my favorite album. And it's this one. My first ever vinyl. Definitely maybe. I think it is on par one of the best albums ever made. And today I'm going to do a tier list of all the songs that are on it. And we can start from the top. As you can see, we've got S and all the way to ass tier. Now, spoiler alert: there are no asses. There are no asses on this tier list. However, I just thought it'd be a good place to it'd be good to include that tier just in case. Anyhow, so we'll start from the very, very, very tippy top, which is Rock and Roll Star. And honestly, what a brilliant album opener for this band. Like when they came out, when Oasis came out, unlike anybody else around at the scene at the time, I think they were massively different. A lot of people compare like them to Britpop, but I think this first album is the furthest thing from Britpop you can ever be. Like it's got a lot of punk roots and punk elements in there, with especially with the rhythm section sounding as loud and as bombastic it does. Obviously, you've got Bonehead just playing a lot of power and bar chords basically during the whole thing, and it really thickens it up. And the bass lines and the drum beats are very simple, but they just work effectively over the top of Noel's melodies. And Rock and Roll Star is a perfect example of that. Um, it's very bright sounding, but I think it's also a brilliant opener just for this album in general, just letting you know what you're in store for. And just the structure of it. I know that the verses kind of repeat. That's a very common Noelism that you'll find on quite a lot of his stuff. He'll find a really good verse, he'll write it down, but then he won't write a second verse. I think maybe he's thinking that he can't match it. So, what's the point? The melody's powerful enough. The tune sounds good. Let's just keep the verse exactly the same. It's not one of my personal favourites, but it does get me in the mood whenever I put it on. So I'm going to put this into A tier. Brilliant opener to the rest of the album, lets you know exactly what you're in store for. And yeah, a lot of it is just like it's what Oasis are about. Next up, track 2, Shaker Maker. Now, hmm, this one I'm not really too sure where to put it, because this is the most of its time song I think on this album. It doesn't, I don't think it translates as well today as it probably did back then. Now, it was the second single released by Oasis, and I don't know, it lyrically it doesn't really grip me. Even sonically, like it's just a bit all out there, and it's like I don't know I never knew what they were trying to go for. However, what I will say is I don't know if we call it the bridge, but the midpoint of the song, the "I'm sorry, but I just don't know," that bit is actually brilliant. I do enjoy that bit quite a lot. Like the build up to it is amazing, but I also think it goes on a bit too long with the and shake along with them, shake along with me. Like it does. I know there's like the famous clip of a Top of the Pop song where this band, I can't remember the name of them, but they wrote a song like taking the piss out of Oasis, and it sounds identical to this one. It sounds like Oasis are taking the piss out of themselves singing it. It's not one that I revisit often. It's still pretty good, don't get me wrong. I still listen to it when it's on, but no, it's not one that I listen to very often. So I think this is the weakest song I think on this album. And to say it was the second single, I'm not sure why they chose it. For that, I'm going to put it in C tier. I think it's probably the only C tier song off this album, because the rest of them I do actually really enjoy. But that one's the one probably I've visited actually, no, there is another one that I've visited less, but I still enjoy that song. Anyway, from Shaker Maker, we go to the Oasis third single, which is Live Forever. The song that I think got me into playing guitar in the first place. I remember watching the Supersonic documentary, and Noel talks about like he went down to rehearsal one day with a song, and from that moment, like everything changed, and it ended up being this song. An acoustic version of this song starts playing, and I remember when I heard it, I was like, what a, like, lyrically, melodically, what an absolute tune. And it just makes sense. And then I remember Googling the chords for it, and I saw the chords and I thought, surely it is not that easy. Like it's not that simple. Like it's only like I want to say 5 chords the whole song, but it's brilliant. And not to mention like the guitar solo, the drum intro is iconic. Me personally, I do prefer it when Noel sings it, and I do prefer an acoustic version of it. His High Flying Birds in I want to say 2023, they did a version. Is it Abbey Road? No, they did a version on Jules Holland, and that's my favorite version of it. It's almost like this version's. I saw the comments, and it was saying like the version that Liam sings is like a young man looking at his life ahead and what he wants to be, and then when Noel sings it in the Jules Holland version, it's like an old man looking back at his life with almost a longing melancholy and just like, wow, we've done all this and we're just going to carry on kind of thing, which I thought was a beautiful, poignant way of putting it. But yeah, forever timeless song. And for that, I think I am going to have to put it in S tier because one unbelievable tune. I mean, Noel talks about it as well. He said the band completely changed when Live Forever was written. Like he knew after when he wrote that song that that was it. Like they've gone from indie to classic and they're ready. Like it was never the same after that. Yes, I have a Hello Kitty water bottle. No, I will not explain why. Anyway, moving on to probably my least listened to song off this album, Up in the Sky. Now, I read somewhere that it was actually Bonehead that came up with the riff for this song. The yeah, and lyrically as well. I was watching the like behind the scenes. No, so for the 10 years after Definitely Maybe came out, they did a DVD like documentary where they interviewed all the band members. And Noel talks about this, and he's like, without being up my own ass, this is about like like politicians and people who are born above you, which kind of makes sense. I want to say lyrically because it's like he's talking about hey you up in the sky learning to fly, tell me how high. Kind of makes sense what he was going for at the time. When you hear it though, you don't really hear it. It does sound just like a very upbeat tune. However, one of the most sus lyrics that everybody's commented on, when you're inside me, how does it feel when you're inside me? Now, I can look past that, but I have, when I've put it on before for people and they have listened to it, they're like, pause. Which, what can you, what else can you say? I mean, I can look past it, but yeah, I always thought that was funny. Anyway, Up in the Sky, not too much more to say about it. I think it's just a classic B tier song. However, when they do put Up in the Sky at the end of Round Our Way Live, I thought that is brilliant how they're able to combine two songs together. Moving on, Columbia. Now, the studio version, it's a good tune. It's a very long song, and the guitar solo it goes on for quite a while. And the come-ons, they come in really late. However, what I will say is live, if you watch the Nebworth gig or listen to it, they open with Columbia, and it's probably the best song. It's the best song they could have picked to open up that Nebworth gig with, and it sounds unbelievable live. They shortened it down. It's very riffy. The solo's been shortened down as well. Noel's got that delay on there. The come-ons when they come in as well, like you ready that that's going to be an absolutely amazing gig. That live version, though, we're talking about the studio version. And the studio version, it's got a good feel to it. It's got a good groove. It was actually one of the inspirations of the first tracks that I recorded with my band called Colour My Life. Columbia, I wanted to open it with a drum solo. Well, not a drum solo. I wanted to open it with the drums, which is classic from this song. Like it opens with the drums, that with the feedback and the drums. That's what I wanted off of mine. I think it's got a bit of a strange vibe to it compared to the rest of the album. I want to say it's a bit more psychedelic, or it's a bit more like transient almost. So for that, I want to say they are doing something a bit different there. So for that, I'm going to put this in B tier because I'm going to put it in front of Up in the Sky as well, because I do actually listen to that a lot more. But the live version is better, miles better. If you what I would recommend is after this tier list, I would go watch the live version of Nebworth when they open with it, and it sounds brilliant. Moving on. Now, their first single, probably one of the best songs that Noel himself has ever written, one I'm extremely jealous of, which is Supersonic. Now, for the uneducated ones out there, Supersonic, the story behind it, obviously, what the documentary called, is they went to the studio to record "Bring It On Down." However, it wasn't coming together due to Tony's drumming. And then when the guys went out for something to eat, Noel ended up writing a song over a riff that he had, and he wrote it. And he says he wrote it about 30 minutes, and that song ended up being supersonic. Now to write that in 30 minutes and how good it sounds, like how sinister Liam's vocals almost sound over the top of it, like because when you hear Noel sing it, it's kind of beautiful, but when Liam sings it, it gives it that edge to it, and it's just such a cool riff, such an iconic riff. Like it sounds so amazing, and the opening line, "You need to be yourself." Like it's just the lyrics just seem like nonsense as well. It's one of those songs where if you were to ask me what song defines Oasis, especially in those early years, it would be that one. Like just very vague and very vague lyrics. So you don't really sure what they're on about. Cool as fuck riffs. Liam's voice sounds unbelievable. I mean, that goes to say over this album anyway. Like, I don't think Liam ever sounded anywhere near as good after this album came out. This is his best album vocally by far. I don't know if it's because it was before all the money came in, all the drugs and all the ciggies and stuff, and he was just so young, he was able to really keep his voice intact for a lot of these songs, but especially on this one, like the opening and my friend said he'll take you home, just such a catchy chorus. And it was actually the first song that I ever performed live in front of people. I remember I was doing an acoustic open mic night, and this was the first song that I ever did. And it was the acoustic version that you can find on YouTube. Noel sings it. That's what I mean. When Noel sings it, it sounds very haunting and very sad, actually, and melancholic. I think that's a lot of his writing style, to be honest with you. If you actually listen to the words or you listen to Noel sing it, a lot of his songs are they've got a lot of themes of longing and melancholy in there, but for some reason, Liam sings them the way he does. It transforms it completely into like really staple arena rock songs. I'd highly recommend you go listen to, like, some might say there's a demo out there, some might say, and you listen to Noel sing it, completely different vibe. A completely different vibe than when Liam sings it. Anyway, that's enough about that. Talking about Supersonic, this is an S tier, and I'm actually going to put it in front of Live Forever because I prefer the far sinister sounding ones than to the joy and the hope of Live Forever. I like the swagger that's in Supersonic as well. Moving on, Bring It On Down, most underrated track off this album, 100% without a doubt. It doesn't get the love I believe it deserves, and I think that's also because it was supposed to be their first single, and there's actually footage of them in King Tut's playing it. Sorry. So there's footage of them in King Tut's playing it off of, I don't know, I think there was some like Chinese guy stood in the crowd just recording them, probably on holiday, just went to a random gig venue on his own and just saw this band. They ended up being the biggest band in the world, but at the time there was just nobodies. And I think they opened up with Bring It On Down and Tony's drumming, the atmosphere that it generates, the guitar solo and the lyrics as well. This is what I mean about, I don't believe this album's Britpop at all. It's got such hardcore. It's got such not hardcore. Sorry, it's got such punk roots in there, such classic rockisms, and the lyrics aren't very English either. What I think of Britpop is when you think of Blur and Pulp. There's a lot of English tongue-in-cheek humor in there. It's a lot of English humor. It's a lot of English isms about our culture, our lifestyle, and our class system at the time. Whereas a lot of these songs, I know that Noah was aiming for more universal, but there's a lot more grit to them. There's a lot more, there's a lot of more universal themes in them. So I never understood the Britpop allegations, especially for this album. Morning Glory, we can talk differently because I think Noel does pull a lot of some British popular music at the time in there, but I don't think so for this album. Anyway, that's enough talking about. Bring It On Down, guitar solo, unbelievable. It's very long, but it's still really good. The distortion on Liam's vocals for the bring it on down, bring it down for me. Unbelievable. The lyrics, your head's in a fish tank, your body and your mind can't breathe. Fuck knows what that means. However, it sounds cool as fuck. What I recommend is if you're in the car driving fast, bang this tune on. You'll probably break the speed limit. Bring It On Down. It's going in A tier, and I'm actually putting it in front of Rock and Roll Star. Unbelievable track. Most underrated track off, definitely, maybe, and absolutely class. Moving on now to another one. cigarettes and alcohol. I'm not even gonna S tier. S tier. Oh, is it better than Live Forever? I mean, in my I listen to it more than Live Forever, 100%. Cigarettes and alcohol, just what a vibe, man. I was at the Live at 25 gig twice. I went to the Manchester one, and then I went to go see them in America. And when they were doing the Poznan, when you had your arms around each other and you jumped up and down, like, just what a riff. I know he stole it from T Rex, but he made it his own with this. And yeah, you just hear the bum 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 ba dan dan dun ba da, and then just Liam coming in with "Is it my imagination?" and there's just the shiens that's in this tune, the iconic "Shien lifetime sunshine." Putting a cocaine reference in there as well with "You might as well do the white line." Like, come on, what an absolutely banger of a track. Like, it never fails to get you moving at all. And it's one of them, you listen to it before going on a day session, a night out, and you're just like, I am ready for it. This is what it's about. So yeah, I can't. Cigarettes and alcohol, S tier, unbelievable track. Diggsy's Dinner, I have a soft spot for. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably, if you want to talk musically, the weakest on the track. Like Shake and Make It, in my personal opinion, it is weaker. But if you want to talk about like just, I think objectively, Diggsy's Dinner is probably the weakest. This one is probably one of them that's a bit more Britpoppy. The only one I'd say off this album. However, I do like it. I mean, it's just hilarious. What a life it would be if you can come to mind for tea. We'll have lasagna and just Liam's lasagna. Like there's that. Oh my god! Oh shit! That's my chair being broken. There's that footage of him doing the Definitely Maybe tour in 24, and there's just footage of him where he's going up to Mike and he's like, "Does anyone want any lasagna?" I know for years that I know for years he refused to sing it just because of how silly it was, but I can't help but love it. It's going to go in B tier at the end. Diggsy's Dinner. Now, this next one. This is the whole reason I wanted to make this tier list video, and in general, why Oasis are my favourite band. I don't think it's my favourite Oasis song, but it's my favourite song ever written, and that is Slide Away. I'm not sure how that makes sense, but I feel like it does. I feel like your favourite Oasis song is different to your favourite song, because obviously I love other bands, but Slide Away is my favourite song ever, like, period. Best song I think that's ever been written. It is so beautiful, the structure of it, the words, just the melody, the lead guitar on it. I think it's the most underrated, one of the most underrated guitar solos ever. It just fits the song absolutely perfectly. I don't think I could do it justice talking about it, but do you know that meme where you see SpongeBob floating up in the air with with his headphones in? That's me for the ending of this song. I don't know, I don't care. All I know is you can take me there. I don't know, like seeing it live, hearing it on the record, like it's just the best 2 minutes of, like, I'm a sucker. I love a crescendo. I love a crescendo of a song, and this one is up there. Like, I listened to the Mono Valley demo version that before it was mixed, and till the lead guitar runs out, it's absolutely brilliant. If they do remove a lot of nose backing, you can tell from the studio version to the demo version. They removed a lot of nose backing vocals, but they kept that in. That I don't know, I don't care. All I know is you can take me there, and it sounds, yeah, it's just unbelievable. My favorite song ever written, and for that reason, it's going at the top of S tier. I will fight any man who says that song is poo. Any man. That's an offer. I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Best song ever written. Now, I'm not sure why they didn't close the album out with that, because in my opinion, this next one would probably been better as a B-side, and Slide Away would have fit the album perfectly, I think, if they closed it out with it. However, they did throw in Married with Children at the end, like a little acoustic number of just Noel and Liam. The lyrics are pretty funny. You know, your music's shy, it keeps me up all night. It's just a funny little tune to close out with. And I know that it blew up on TikTok, I think, a couple of years ago, with people soundbiting it. And I kind of understand why. It's similar to, like, in the next album, She's Electric. It's one of those type of tunes where, you know, you don't really see him play it live that often, but it's just a funny little way to close out the album, and it's not a bad tune in any sense. Definitely weaker, and it's not one of my favourites. Like I said, I think they should have finished with Slide Away, but I don't hate it. I can listen to it, and it's a pretty good time. So for that, I'm gonna put it after. I want to say after Columbia because it is a fun tune to listen to. I don't listen to it often, but when I do, I'm never upset. And yeah, that is my tier list. Like I said, Slide Away, best song ever written. I will fight anyone on that. So if you've got a problem, you can find me. And yeah, that's my tier list. Definitely, maybe best album of all time.